Welcome back. Double teamed fam. Should I change that?
How are we doing?
Should we do
today?
a little poll? Stop picking at that.
What? A poll as to what to change it to?
To be honest, I hate introing. You should take over. I'm just kidding. I don't hate it.
You've always done it, so it's like I feel like it would be weird if I took it over. Right? Can we all agree it would be weird if I took it over?
Would it be weird? Say yes.
I don't know if you're
Okay.
gonna like the way your hair looks. Yeah, it's better.
Whatever. Anyways, oh man, what's new?
So we're recording this on the day of the new moon, but by the time we release this, we will be in Dubai. Hopefully at a desert somewhere, riding some camels.
Oh yeah. Well, no, this will be day 2 of Dubai, so
We're probably going to be jet lagged and doing our best to stay awake.
just downing coffee.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so Cami and I are turning 30 in a few weeks. So we're going to Dubai to celebrate our birthday and also see our friend who is deployed there along with his wife. So we're super excited. I've never been to Dubai.
Also, if you're watching YouTube, I'm product placing a little bit because I really want to keep working with Via Hemp. So please buy their gummies so we can keep working.
Their
with
gummies
them.
are good though.
They're
so
great.
good.
Anyways,
we don't.
Zen
This
ones
isn't an ad.
knocked
They'll
me
hear
out.
the ad.
Anyways, yeah. Actually, I mean, they would have heard 2 weeks ago, but okay.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah, Dubai.
But the new moon is today, and honestly, like the new moons and the full moons always fuck up my cycles, like my sleep cycle. So like I'm tired. My body is exhausted.
I'm bloated.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else exciting to announce?
No, I've been boring as fuck, and y'all know that. I am so sorry. I haven't been to a sex party in I don't know how long. I haven't been having sex, which is actually what we're going to talk about today.
I have been having sex, but it's very
sporadic.
sporadic.
I looked in our Google Calendar, and Cami has like 4 dick appointments lined up before Dubai, and I'm just like,
Gotta get it in, you know.
heavy sigh because I'm over here like, I don't know.
Well, so
and we'll get into it later, but
I told myself, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to reach out to anyone. Like, if someone wants to hook up with me or hang out, like, they'll text me. I want to be in my receiving era just for a little bit, you know.
okay.
Not that I don't try. Obviously, I do, you know. I set up plenty of dates and stuff myself. But anyways, so I was just like, you know what? I'm not, right now I need to be focusing on myself. I'm not going to reach out for, like, dick appointments or, you know, dates, whatever. And then, like, just bam, back to back to back to back. My British dude, my other play partner, and another play partner all were like, hey, would love to see you before you leave. So,
For Dubai. Oh.
for Dubai. So that, yeah. And then Cody and I had to reschedule from this week to next week. So, yeah, right before Dubai,
Getting dicked down.
yep, getting it in.
Well, I guess
and
I can just
honestly,
jump
like,
into it later without
Wait, hold on. But I was going to say, I'm also about to start my period. So I really hope none of them like kickstart my period early and ruin it for the rest of it. So
Shout out to whoever has that first slot next week. You might be in luck.
I think the first 2 will be fine. It's the other 3 that I'm worried about.
So 3. Wait, what? There are 5 total?
Yeah.
Who's the 5th?
British guy. You can bleep this out.
Oh, wow.
And then Cody.
wow.
So.
God, I need to get laid. Okay.
So anyways, today we're going to talk about how Niki's not getting laid. A celibacy journey, if you will.
There's a lot to unpack here. And you've heard me talk about it in other episodes before that I started the celibacy journey. So it's not news to you guys, but I figured, you know, my plan was to do an episode after I actually had sex again. But now I'm so far removed from the last time I had sex that I have no idea how to re-enter sex. And it's concerning. There's a lot to unpack. Anyways, we'll get started.
I feel like some people do it that way though, you know? Like,
What do you mean?
They stop having sex for whatever reason, and then at one point, because everybody prioritizes sex different, and at one point they get to the point where they're just prioritizing themselves so much
Do they forget about sex? It goes completely on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the less you have it, the less of a drive typically.
Yeah.
And
And the
then
more you have it, the more of a drive, typically. So the last time I had sex was July 4th. I went over to see my gym guy on July 4th after.
That was it?
That was it. Yeah, that was the last time I had sex.
Oh shit, we're in September.
Yeah, it's
Oh God.
What was supposed to be a 6-week challenge has turned into 2.5 months. Yeah. So,
Wait.
nah.
One of the brands that we work with did send us new vibrators. Did you try it out?
I did try it out.
Oh, really? I haven't yet. I haven't tried mine out.
It's a little weak for me. I need something a little bit stronger, but it still made me orgasm. So,
Well, I mean, I feel like when you...
but I like the way you, like, I like the curvature of the vibrator, and I really like the weight of it because it's not too heavy.
You know, exactly. That's what I really like. The design of it is beautiful.
It's beautiful, yeah.
But
I need just
as
a
far
little more strength.
as far as strength, if you're using the OG vibrator that we both ordered individually at first, that one's way too strong. So sometimes I like the lesser pulse.
I see. Okay. I'm still wondering who the hell is using the Morse code setting on any vibrator. I just don't understand why they have. Yeah. The bzz, 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 bzz.
Oh, yeah. That
How does
one.
that make anyone come?
Exactly. How?
Yeah. I just don't
I have
understand.
to have it. It has to be bzzz.
The entire way.
It's got to
Yeah.
sound like you're shaving a head. Just zzz.
Our dogs are freaking out at this.
Our dogs are like, what's that noise?
Anyways. So July 4th, we mentioned it on the pod before, Cammy was out having fun. I was working on a project, and around 8 p.m. that night, I was like, I'm horny. So I hit up my gym dude, and we had sex, and it was great, and I loved it.
Oh, and then you did your session with Camilla.
Well, a lot of things happened the days after July 4th. 1, I ran into Calvin. That was July 7th. 2, I had a reading from my friend who does like channeled psychic readings.
Shout out to Kate.
And she was basically like, your inner child is a little upset with you based on some of your choices of people you've had sex with. Or like just based on some of your choices in general. When I meditated, that's when she told me, she was like, yo, I don't like some of the people you've been having sex with. And then 3, I went to my Reiki girl, and my Reiki girl said the same thing. She was like, your body has...
Our Reiki girl being Camilla.
Oh yeah, her name's Camilla.
We've introduced her on the pod.
Yeah, we've introduced her on the pod. She's phenomenal. Anyways, so she did Reiki on me, and she was like, yeah, you have this big ball of tension, you have this big ball of anger, and you need to release. She was like, but I'm also feeling that you need to like really sit with yourself and like pull back on some of your like sexual escapades.
Who was your inner child mad at for having sex with that one ex?
Jordan.
She hated him. Oh.
Hated.
Yeah, that's some past life shit.
Yeah. Anyways.
But your other ones were fine.
No. Yeah. She was fine with Gym Guy. She loved Calvin. She was fine with Travis.
And all of our lifestyle friends are safe spaces.
Yeah. But there were a couple other random sporadic hookups that she wasn't a fan of either, but those were like from way past. Anyways, basically all of that to say is after all of those things, A, running into Calvin, B, my Reiki session, and then the session with my healer or with my friend who's a psychic, I just kind of got the sense, and I was already starting to feel this. I know this sounds super woo-woo, but sorry, we're woo-woo, okay? We are woo-woo. Anyways, woo-woo gang. Okay. Anyways, I had already been starting to feel kind of like the inklings of needing to take some time to really figure out what I wanted in my sex life because, and I think I've mentioned it on the pod as well, every single time I had sex with Gym Guy, the only way I could orgasm was thinking about Calvin. And I had so much fun with the Gym Guy, and he was such a safe space. Such a gorgeous human being, just the most phenomenal body and the most beautiful dick. Like he's just, and his smile, and he's so safe and like such a nice person and like such a sweetheart. It makes me sad that I have like no romantic feelings for him, because like he is a catch. Whoever ends up marrying this man is winning in my book, because he is an absolute catch. It's just sometimes you can't force it when. Huh?
I love his aura.
I know, I love his energy too, but it's like you can't force it. If I didn't feel romantic feelings for him, I didn't feel romantic feelings for him. But obviously I had a lot of love for him, and I loved having sex with him, and so like we had a great time. But like I said, it was very physically fulfilling and very like nurturing, but it wasn't like always emotionally fulfilling. And I found myself, because he's very similar in body type to Calvin, like super ripped. That's my type. Sorry. I have a type. Super ripped. Anyways, it ended up reminding me of Calvin quite a bit. And so
wait, you know what? Side note, I've actually started finding muscular guys attractive again.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
I know. I made that revelation the other day.
Nice.
I saw this guy at the DMV that I fell in love with, and he had muscles, and I was like, wow, maybe I really do love them. So,
or maybe you can like both. You can like both.
I know.
You know, it doesn't mean you have to pick one or the other, because I still dated dudes that are not super muscular and like still love them.
That's true.
Anyways, so I got to the point where I realized that like maybe it wasn't super fair to myself and probably to the gym guy if like I just wasn't connecting to our sexual experiences, or I was like disengaging at the times that like I really thought of Calvin or whatever. And then after the sessions with my Reiki girl and everything, I was like, okay, maybe I need to take some time to myself. And so that's when I decided, I was like, I'm going to do a 6-week celibacy challenge.
Wait, but the best part is you told Gym Guy about...
Oh, yeah. I told Gym Guy, I was like, hey, I love having sex with you. I love what we're doing, but I need to take some time to myself. I'm still kind of like working through some emotions about my ex and, you know, like all the relationships that I ended, you know, 2-3 like right before him and I started having sex. And so I was like, I'm just gonna take a little break, and you know, when I'm done and we can get back to it, whatever. And he was like, dope. And this was the best part. He was like, actually, I feel like I've been processing a lot of my feelings about my ex, and I haven't totally resolved them either, and I need to take some time to do the same thing. So it was really nice that we were kind of like both in the same space. And maybe that's kind of like what we felt from each other, is because there were times where like I could tell he wasn't in it either, you know, when in the middle of sex, like I think we both really physically enjoyed it, but our hearts were elsewhere, and that really got in the way of sometimes the sex physically. So we stopped hooking up, and I decided to do a 6-week celibacy challenge. And I told myself I'll just sit with myself for 6 weeks, see what happens, see how I feel, and go from there. So I made that decision on July 7th. And then I would say in the beginning, for the first like 1 to 2 weeks, it was fine. I was like, I've gone, 2 weeks without sex before. It's fine. Week 3 and 4, I was dying. I wanted sex so bad.
Why are the cats surrounding us right now? Thank you, Cashmere.
Anyways, so that was really tough. And then by now, it's been well over 6 weeks.
Oh, it's been 1 week
since you looked at me.
I always refer to that song.
I know. Well, actually, here, let me backtrack a little bit. During my celibacy challenge, I made mention of it on my close friends on my Instagram story. And so many people were surprised. One of my friends was like, I never thought I'd see the day where you were doing a celibacy challenge. Many people ask if I was still planning on like wanking myself, which, yep, I still masturbate. Hold on.
Graywen, stop cleaning yourself.
Can you? Okay.
Cats are so disruptive sometimes.
Anyways, and then it just felt like all of a sudden everyone wanted to have sex with me. So many people, actually a lot of couples were like, hey, are you down for a threesome? My one friend that we went to Mexico with was like, I got a girlfriend, she's bi, and she wants to have a threesome. Are you down? And I was like, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. or he said he started seeing someone more seriously, and he was like, she's bi, she wants to have a threesome. He was like, naturally I thought of you. I'm like, I'm on a celibacy challenge. And then I had another friend, same thing, you know, him and his girlfriend were like, we are looking for a threesome, are you down? And I was like, I'm on a celibacy challenge. And then like some of the guys that I've hooked up with at sex parties recently were like all of a sudden like, hey, yo, how are you doing? And I'm like, on a celibacy challenge. So I feel like the universe was like, we're gonna really test this. Because some of those were definitely people that I would have loved to have sex with. So I stayed strong, didn't waver.
When was this? Week 4?
This was like around the week 4 mark. Yeah.
Okay, so we're into August.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, and then I spent a lot of that time like really thinking about like sex and like obviously and what I like, you know, taking stock of my sex life in the past, looking at my like what I want in the future for my sex life. And what really sucks is that
like, are you looking for love?
Yeah.
We all get there.
Here's the thing. I champion casual sex. I love casual sex. I've had a lot of casual sex in my lifetime, and it's something that I think can be indeed done in a very like healthy way. But I think that requires having a mindset of understanding what needs you're taking care of with casual sex, what boundaries you're going to put in place to protect yourself and the other person and the dynamic, and what understanding you and the other person have going into it in terms of like, you know, how are you open to it developing? Are you not open to it developing more? Whatever. Anyways, so I realized like in the past, at least in the past like 2 years, a lot of the sex that I've been having has been mainly like fun and casual, which nothing wrong with that. I've had phenomenal sexual experiences. It's like I've loved obviously exploring it and everything, but I realized like I have not had sex where I felt like truly connected to the person in a really long time. And I remember, I mean, for example, like with Jordan, I had feelings for him and he had feelings for me, but it's like when I look back at that relationship, like it was obviously so much of like, that was the first time that someone actually reciprocated their feelings, and I just latched onto that. And so like sometimes I look back on it and I'm like, I don't know if I actually really was in love with him, because I don't think I was. I think I was just so thirsty for someone to reciprocate like attention and to reciprocate effort that I just took that and it was like, fuck yeah, I'll take it now while I can get it. But then, you know, also I spend a lot of time thinking, I'm like, where did my heart always point? You know, in the last 2 years, like where has my heart always pointed towards? Like who is it that has always been the person that I wanted to like dive deeper with, but it just wasn't available to me, which was Calvin.
Do you feel the sex between you and Calvin was super connected?
No, because we never allowed ourselves. There were instances, yes, but most of the time we like had our walls up, and it was always just like we're only friends with benefits, that like we never allowed ourselves to dive in deeper. Anyways, and so I guess I kind of got to the point where I realized like I have, and you know, now take it to Travis. I loved Travis. I had feelings for Travis, but we had feelings for each other at different times in the relationship. So when I had feelings for him, he didn't have feelings for me. When he had feelings for me, I didn't have feelings for him anymore. Like we were always so mismatched that like, as even though the sex felt very connective and good in some cases, like we were never aligned, or our hearts were never like aligned. So it's like I kept
there.
It feels like just like a lot of the sex that I had was like mixed match energies, or mismatched energies. Sorry, mismatched energies. So like I don't think I ever really had like a sexual experience where we were both like truly in it emotionally and like on that kind of a wavelength. And I think like I think what I need, at least in the future, is like both. But I think the foundation of it, like I need to have like an emotionally fulfilling connection if I want to be able to really truly enjoy casual sex without missing the piece that is an emotional connection with someone somewhere.
So when do you foresee yourself having sex again?
I don't know. That's
Next?
what I'm trying to figure out. And it's just like, and I think that's kind of the conversation that I had to like have with myself, because, you know, like last Friday I talked to Calvin, and I would, you know, he knows how I feel. He knows I want to get back together. He knows that I want to like give our relationship a try, but he, you know, at least from what he said back then, he's not there. So I was like, I told myself, I'm like, if I want to have sex again, I'm either going to have to like wait until I get back to like, I don't know, I guess until I fall in love with someone. Yeah. Or you know, like work back into getting into casual sex, which I'm not against.
Well, I mean, we'll hopefully be attending a sex party at the end of October.
Yeah. I'm excited for that. I did hit up Gym Guy because it is his birthday today, but I did hit up Gym Guy and I was like, hey, I'd love to reconnect. He feels very safe, and so like I would love to have sex with him again. And so I hit him up, and I'm waiting. Last week he was like, when I texted him originally, he was like, I'd love to, but this coming week is very busy for me. And so since today was his birthday, I texted him happy birthday and just threw out some feelers to see if like maybe next week we can reconnect. And I would be open to having sex with him again. Absolutely, 1,000%. Love his body. And the last time I ran into him at the gym, which was like mid-August, we were very horny for each other. So, but it's just been a really interesting journey, because I honestly, like, you know, considering how sexual I am and how like horny I get and how much I love sex in all forms, not just like emotional sex, but casual sex, like I've surprised myself with like how much I've wanted emotionally fulfilling sex in the last couple of weeks.
Sometimes we want different flavors for different seasons, you know?
Yeah, and that's true.
So, I mean,
it's not like I'm, you know, upset with myself or anything. It's just, you know, sometimes we could still, no matter what age we are at, you know, we can continuously surprise ourselves with like how our needs and wants change and ebb and flow, you know.
It's all about energy. It has nothing to do with age. It has nothing to do with, you know, and I think that's like, you know, the beauty in it, especially like, you know, right now you could be like, I really want emotionally fulfilling sex, and maybe you get that, and then in, you know, 10 years you're like, I want casual sex again, you know, and then you do that. And then,
well, that's how I was. I mean, I think back to like when my ex-husband and I were together, like it was all emotionally fulfilling sex for a while, and then I got to the point where I'm like, I just want to have fun with sex.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you need a balance.
You do.
And obviously, like, if you're non-monogamous, I think you can really have that. Not that you can't have fun sex with your partner, but, you know, a lot of times when you're in a partnership for a long time, in monogamy, like, you get weighed down by, like, the nuances of long-term relationships, you know? You know each other really well. You know your body's really, you get stuck in routines, you get stuck in cycles. You know, maybe you get a little bit lazy here and there. You're, you know, very comfortable, so things aren't as exciting, like, you know, those kind of things. So yeah, you know, I remember being at that point with my ex-husband. So then when I got to have casual sex again, I fucking loved casual sex.
Yeah, you didn't want emotional connection.
I didn't want to. Yeah, I was like, I already have emotional, you know, connective sex. Like, I want some fucking dick. Yeah. So it's just, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think, you know, you're going to need a balance of it. And so like for me, it feels like it's just been like this constant seesaw. Like, it was all emotional, and then it was all casual. And now like I want to level it out a little bit, but I want to prioritize emotionally fulfilling sex. I like right now for me, like that, I think is what's going to make my heart really full. But I'm not really going to be able to do that until I really truly, you know, am able to work through 2 years of being in love with someone and, you know, suppressing all of that and whatever. I don't know.
That's your journey.
It is my journey. It is.
You know what? No, I'm at a great spot with my sex life, in which I'm actually like, I'm not on dating apps. I'm not seeking out people to hook up with. Like I said before, I'm just receiving. Whoever comes my way will come. What's meant for me will find me. You know, the love that's meant for me will not pass me.
I'm trying to receive as well. I'm trying to receive. I want to receive.
But right now, like, I'm open to that casual sex with partners that I feel safe with. So that's, you know, for me, like, there's a small group of men that I'm really enjoying casual sex with, and outside of that container, like until I meet my, you know, my future hubby, it's not, I don't really see it budging. Which, you know, the fact that like I want to meet, you know, my future partner that I live, you know, my that I build a life with, because I want to be able to have that opportunity to meet someone. I still like go on dates and stuff with new people. I'm just not putting out the kitty that quickly. Like, unless I'm feeling really called to do it, like the kitty's not coming out for a while. I went on a date with this one guy. I'd met him before. I went on a date with him. And I really wasn't feeling it. He was really cool, but I didn't see it going anywhere. So I just like didn't pursue it. And, you know, I just kind of left it in his court. Like I said, if he wanted to pursue me, he could. If not, I wasn't going to try. And yeah. And even after our first date, we went back to his place and we're like, and obviously like he wanted to hook up. And I was like, you can play with my boobs. That's it. I'm not doing anything past that. Like, I don't want it. And he obliged. Like, that was it.
Aw.
Tiny bit of playing, and then that was it.
You know, I will say, when we went to that concert that one night, the Chainsmokers, when we went back to our friend's house, it was like a big group of us. There was like 50 of us, and they're all swingers. Anyways, one of the guys there, we did have like a really nice make-out session. That was it. And because I told him about my celibacy journey, and he was like, I respect it. And he was like, all good. He was like, are you down to just like make out? And I was like, sure. So, and it was really nice. I love kissing. So like it felt nice to connect with someone. But I was thinking recently, I was like, you know, I like haven't been like cuddled or held or kissed, you know, in a long time. And like, I miss those things.
I miss having someone to fall asleep next to.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing I keep going back on. It's just like, I need that and I want it so bad. And I know you know, it's not my time right now. When that person comes, it'll come. But till then, I'm just being patient. But like, damn, do I just miss like, you know, just holding someone.
I know. I miss someone holding me. So I don't know. I've definitely, you know, it was Venus retrograde. So like, obviously things related to like relationships and pleasure and like those things came up. And like, for me, that was a very, very real experience where I was like, what do I want out of sex? Like, what do I want my sex life to look like? How am I going to re-enter sex? And I guess like, obviously if, you know, Calvin texted me today or tomorrow and was like, hey, you know, let's figure this out, let's have sex, whatever, my body would be very ready for that. But like, even with the gym guy, you know, like having sex with him, I was like I want to.
But emotionally, would you be like, I feel like you would...
we'd have to have a discussion first about everything and then have sex. Absolutely. Like it would need to be like, I would need to hear and see some effort and then be like, okay, because if he was just like, let's just have sex, I'm like, no, that's gonna fuck me up.
Exactly.
So, but if he was like, hey, let's work on things, let's figure this out, how do we want to move forward together, and then that leads to sex, 100,000% down for that. But like, I was thinking about it like with the gym guy, like of course I want to have sex with him and I would feel very safe, but like part of me is like a little bit afraid because of like how it's going to leave me feeling emotionally, because I don't know. Am I going to sit there and just like be upset that I didn't wait for an emotionally fulfilling like experience? Am I going to sit there and like feel conflicted? Maybe it would just feel good and maybe it would just feel fun and relaxing, and that would be great too. Like it could be a plethora of things, but I guess like the unknown of how it will leave me feeling is like a little bit scary.
Is this just because you haven't been having sex?
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
Oh, I was like, it's not that serious. But I guess it is. I'm sorry. I just have a different opinion right now. That's it.
Well,
but you're on your journey, and that's your...
Oh, you have to realize, I just took 2 months. The last time that I took 2 months off of sex was when my ex-husband was deployed.
Oh, that was a while.
A
while ago.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago. Even during our divorce, like I still had, you know, sex, casual sex, fun sex, or you know, whatever. So
What was the longest stint I went through? I mean, when I was with my
That's what I'm saying, it's
ex-fiance,
been
I would
like-
go like 3-4 months.
Yeah.
The longest I went was actually in, y'all won't believe this, in 2020. I didn't have sex from January through, what was that, June? He came back late June.
oh really?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't remember that.
When I was still with my ex-fiance, during the pandemic, yeah, he deployed in January, and then his
Oh,
deployment.
that's right. I remember that now.
Yeah, his deployment got extended, so I didn't. 6 months, Nicole. 6. Okay, you've been doing 2.
Okay,
That was 3 years ago.
2.5 now. Okay, 2.5. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know how to re-enter it. I'm trying to be patient with myself, but like more and more, like I do find my sex drive coming back, and so I would love to have sex again, but like I want it to feel good for myself and like for whoever is like involved in it, you know. I don't know. It's just a lot. And yeah.
I understand, and I think it's all going to work out. So
No, I'm sure it will, but it's
2.5 months is a long time. So I'm sorry you're going through that.
So we'll see. But I don't know. I look forward to getting back to my sex life. I am excited for it. And I miss like the pieces of myself that like didn't feel so conflicted when it came to sex. Like I miss the version of me that was like down for, you know, whatever, because you know, but really what I think it is, what a lot of it is at least, is just all of the things from my separation, my divorce probably catching up to me in some ways.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
So I don't know, but I will say this though, whenever we posted like a reel about how I was doing like a 6-week celibacy challenge, and the comment section quickly humbled me. And I was laughing because one guy was like, 6 weeks, most married men go years without sex. And I was like, oh, but
They're like, why the fuck does it matter if married men don't have sex or not? Like,
but also,
they're married. They can have that. They can make that decision to better their relationship and have sex.
Exactly. That's on them.
That also means the married woman's not having sex.
So exactly. But I was laughing because there were some people in those comment sections that were like, 19 years and counting. It's been, 3 years for me, 20 years for me, and guys, after doing 2.5 months, like I cannot fathom going more than this length of time without sex. Granted, like I said, I know I'm someone that has a lot of sexual energy, and I'm a very sexual person, and I prioritize my sex life, which is why I took that break, because I was like, I need to do some sitting with myself, some realignment, get really in tune with myself. And I felt it was best to like do that while I'm, without any of the background noise. But 19 years without sex?
Were they asexual, or it was just a choice?
I don't know. I never asked because it was in our comments section, but like that would make me very curious. And I know like I've had friends that took celibacy challenges for very similar reasons. I remember one of my friends, and she was gorgeous, like beautiful model-esque body. She could have any guy she wanted. And I remember, she had been doing like a celibacy thing for probably about over a year for sure. And
Who?
The girl from the gym in Santa Clarita. Anyways, and I remember I asked her, and she was like, I just feel like I'm still working on getting over someone that meant a lot to me. She was like, I don't know, I don't really feel safe having sex with any other people, And I remember back then, like when she was telling me this, because this was, back when my ex-husband and I were like opening up and I was starting the podcast and everything, like I could not wrap my head around someone being like, oh, I'm getting over someone still, so like I'm not going to have sex, and I don't feel safe with anyone. That was just like something I hadn't related to yet. And so now here I am looking back, and I'm like, what she was saying makes a complete and total sense, because I am having that exact same experience right now.
Well, sometimes a person becomes your dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Oh. When you're not getting that, then they're like, then your body's like, well, where's my dopamine hit? It's not that one, tried to trick me. That didn't happen.
The funny thing is, like with Calvin, it wasn't even the sex that did it for me. It wasn't. It was just like when we hung out, we just had so much fun. Like it doesn't matter what we were doing. Like I feel like we always left feeling like fulfilled and happy with like what we did. So it wasn't even the sex that was like, you know, so out of this world that's what I'm missing. Like if he called me to like reconcile and like, you know, we didn't have sex and we just like hugged, I would be thrilled. I would be stoked. That would probably be like enough contact for me for at least like, you know, 48 hours.
I wonder what our listeners are thinking.
They're probably tired of hearing about Calvin in the same way that
I'm like,
everyone is. My therapist,
so am I.
my listeners, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're all done.
Yeah.
But she's not, so we're still supporting her.
I dug myself into a deep.
Did you do some like sex magic or something? Like, why are you so fucking obsessed? I was at a sex party the other day, or weeks ago.
I don't appreciate the term obsessed, but continue.
And this one girl was like, she was woo like us, and she was talking about astrology or something, and we got started talking about, you know, like witchy stuff, and she was like, don't ever do sex magic. She was like, that's how I got obsessed with a guy. It took me 2.5 years to break out of this obsession. I wanted him so badly. I was so in love, and it was because I did a spell went wrong during sex, and I was just like, ugh. I'm sorry, boo.
I didn't start doing sex magic until well after I met Calvin, so I don't think it's that. But I also like, all I do is manifest during orgasms. I don't know.
That's exactly. Is that, I mean, or
that's sex magic, but like, I don't know. Some of my manifestations were, I guess, about Calvin, but some of them weren't. A lot of times it would be like career manifestations or just general things like abundance and love in general. So I don't, yeah. It's not an obsession when you have feelings for someone and you're, like,
I'm not
in love with
saying you would. Oh my God.
I
can't ever say the right thing when it comes to Calvin.
Cammy just tries to invalidate my feelings about him all the time.
Hush.
She's always like, it's your ego. It's an obsession. It's not that you actually have feelings for him. It's that you're doing something wrong.
No, Nicole, I understand having feelings for someone, but like,
yes,
I'm not gonna say it.
But like, he wasn't the only reason. Like I said, just in general, I just found myself like not having enough like emotionally connective sex, so I decided to just kind of recalibrate.
Well, I hope you get,
and that's just because like that's a person that I happen to have feelings for in the future.
I hope you get your emotionally fulfilling sex very soon.
Thanks. Anyways, I was just trying to recalibrate, and now I'm like, I don't even know what I want.
You've over-calibrated.
I over-calibrated. I definitely did not recalibrate.
You press on and then on again.
But if
anyone else is going through a celibacy journey, I hope yours is going just as well.
I mean, I think everyone can relate to the experience of falling in love with someone, and maybe like if it isn't working out, like you need time to like, you know, really work through those emotions. You know, that's not like specific to me. Everyone goes through that.
No, absolutely. I agree.
And like, I think it's better, you know, like at least in my situation, I decided to just kind of cut myself off from everything and like really sit with myself and face it and do the best that I could to process it, rather than trying to jump into something else and, you know, just masking my emotions or covering those emotions instead of actually giving myself time to process it.
No, I think it's great to like give yourself time to sit with yourself, because that's what I didn't do for like 2 years, and now I'm finally doing it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but what?
Nothing. Now I'm just annoyed with you. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed today's episode about
we're
Niki's
done
celibacy
already?
journey. Yeah, we are. What left is there to say?
I would be curious to hear about other people's celibacy journeys, why they did it, how it's going. I still cannot believe some people are celibate for longer than a year.
Well, I mean, I think when it comes to, you know, like we said earlier,
Hold on. Okay.
Goddamn cats. You know, oh, stop. You know, there comes a point where like you just start prioritizing other things differently, and that's okay. You know?
I think the reason why for me, like, it's been 2.5 months feels like a lifetime is because like my sex life has always been something that I heavily prioritized.
Exactly. And
I've still managed to like prioritize my other passion projects and do all of that. So like there's always been space for both.
Well, and I think, and it just takes it back to how do you prioritize things? Because, yes, some people prioritize pleasure and their sexual energy more than, like, prioritizing your career or your family life or whatever. Like, I know I've been in a state where I'm, like, more focused. Typically, I've been more focused on relationships. And now I'm, like, at a spot where I'm, like, I'm actually going to try to shift this focus onto my career life and like my own passion projects. So we all have those ebbs and flows. So I think it's, whether you're doing a 1 month, 1 year, 19-year celibacy journey, maybe you just don't want sex at all in this lifetime, that's fine. It's like you were still doing other things that brought you fulfillment and pleasure in other ways during that time frame.
I will say this, over the summer, since I've spent so much, I haven't really gone out much in terms of like on dates or like social events, but I have been spending a lot more intentional time with my friends, like making plans with like the people that mean a lot to me, and like being more intentional about making plans with them. Like, I went and spent a week with my friend down in San Diego. We made so many plans with Eric over the summer for concerts, and we're still doing those. And then we do the coven nights with Nico and Nadej, and so it's like I feel so fulfilled from my friendships that I feel like that has really given me like a lot of emotional strength in terms of like feeling really supported and loved by people in a very platonic way.
I agree,
but I still miss Dick.
Well, it's up to you when you'll get it back. So, DT fam, hope you enjoyed today's episode. As always, wear condoms.
Wear condoms. Yeah, I hope this was interesting. I hope you're not like,
I'm like, right now. Okay, anyway. Love you.
Love y'all. Bye.